Hello BookTube, Sarah here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with part 2 of my July 2017 book haul. And I have a lot of books to talk about here. There are 20 of them. Now to be fair, 8 of them are my Harlequin subscription books that I didn't talk about in part 1 of my book haul because I didn't have them all yet. But let's jump right in and get started. So the first book I want to talk about is Teasing Destiny. This is the first book in the Wishing Well, Texas series, and it's by Melanie Shaw. And this is essentially an old flames romance. This couple had a relationship years ago, and I think he leaves town and then he comes back and they start up the relationship again. I'm pretty sure this was a Kindle Daily deal. It looked like a lot of fun, so of course I snagged it right up. The next book is Down Home Cowboy by Maisey Yates. This is book number 8 in the Copper Ridge series, so I'm slowly collecting all of these, even though I haven't necessarily read any of them yet. But this is about a man who was abandoned by his wife. Him and his daughter were abandoned by his wife. And he comes back to live with his estranged brother. And of course runs into a local female, a woman, and they of course begin a relationship. And I guess the story goes from there. So a wonderful, sweet, contemporary romance. Speaking of books in a series that I haven't started reading yet, next up is Serenity Harbor, and this is by RaeAnne Thayne. This is book number 6 in the Haven Point series, and this is about a man who's a billionaire and a woman who's a school teacher, and she's attempting to adopt a young girl. But she needs to show, I guess, a better job or something like that, so she begins working for him, and of course the relationship goes from there. So RaeAnne Thayne is a great author, and of course I had to pick this one up. Next up we have Easy Nights by Kristen Proby. This is book number 6 in the Bordeaux series, a series about a family, a group of brothers, I believe. And the male lead in this story is an MMA fighter, mixed martial arts I think that stands for, and he's essentially in love with his best friend's betrothed. These aren't historical romances, but I guess that, maybe the families always thought that the two of them would get married or something like that, but he's in love with her. And yeah, it sounds like a really great story. Kristen Proby is an author. I've been collecting her works but haven't started them yet, so I'm very, very much looking forward to getting to one of these shortly. Next up, and I believe this was a Kindle Daily deal, is The Sweetest Thing by Leigh and Darcy. This is the Montana Riverbend book number 2, so I'm probably going to have to go ahead and pick up book number 1. It's about a woman who flees to California right after her senior prom, 18 years ago, when a long-held family secret is revealed. So I guess you don't know what that is just yet. And she is now back in town to help care for her very sick mother, and now runs back into her friends that she kind of abandoned on prom night and didn't tell anybody what was happening, and they didn't know what happened to her. So I think, as well as this being a contemporary romance novel, this is also a novel about friendship and regaining trust and things like that. And I mean, the cover's just absolutely lovely. And again, it was a Kindle Daily deal, so I had to snatch it right up. Next up was another daily deal, and that is Abandon by Carla Neggers. And this is book number 6 in the Cold Ridge / U.S. Marshals series. This is about a drifter who is breaking into homes and the FBI agent who is sent to track him down. Of course, there's going to be a romance aspect in there as well, because these are a romantic suspense, but she is such a great author, and I really, really do enjoy her books. This is a series I haven't started yet, but again, I saw this one on deal, picked it up, so I'll go back and start picking up the first books in the series. This next book, I have to admit, I was drawn in by the cover, and that is The Witches of New York by Amy McKay. So I'm just going to read you just a little bit here, because it's kind of hard for me to summarize what this book is about. And the beloved best-selling author of The Birth House and The Virgin Cure is back with her most beguiling, I think that's the word, novel yet, luring us deep into the lives of a trio of remarkable young women navigating the glitz and grotesqueness of Gilded Age New York by any means possible, including witchcraft. So it is a historical novel, sounds like magical realism, and I really, really love the cover, and it just sounds like it's going to be a really good book. This has about a 3.5 star rating on Goodreads, so not too bad. 3 stars is generally what I give a book that I really enjoy, so I'm very much looking forward to diving into this one. Next up is Perfect for You by Candis Terry. This is book number 2 in the Sunshine Creek Vineyard series, and this is a office romance. It's about a man, Declan, who is the boss, and his employee Brooke, and the two of them start a relationship. He's all business, she wants to have fun, so I guess the two of them are going to kind of help balance each other out a bit. So this one looks really adorable, and I really think I'm going to like it. Next up is a historical novel, and it's called Promises to Keep by Genevieve Graham. This is actually a Canadian historical novel, which makes me very excited living in Canada. It takes place in Acadia in 1755, and Acadia, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Canada or Canadian history, is the eastern provinces, Nova Scotia, that area. And this place takes place during the war between the British and the French for control of Canada, or that part of Canada, I believe. And it's about a woman who essentially falls in love with a soldier. But from what I've seen here, this book has really high ratings. It's almost a 4-star rated book. This was on sale the weekend of Canada Day, so very, very much earlier this month. And I picked it up then. And it just sounds really, really great. And I think it was like $1 or $1.99. And I thought, you know, let's try a Canadian author about a Canadian historical subject. Sounds like a lot of fun. And I really, really hope to learn some more. I haven't studied really any Canadian history since I left school, and history was my favorite subject. If you guys don't know that, obviously I'm a big history buff, so I'm really looking forward to this one. The next book is a love-inspired suspense novel, and it's called Wrongly Accused by Laura Scott, and it is the first book in the SWAT Top Cops series, and it's about a man who is being framed for his wife's murder, and his daughter has been put into foster care. And the woman who is fostering his daughter, like her foster mother, she does not believe that he is innocent. And the book is him trying to, you know, show that he is in fact innocent of his wife's murder. So this one should be really interesting. And again, I love these, you know, Christian romantic suspense novels. They're just great. Next book was another one that I saw on a daily deal not too long ago, and that is A Study in Scarlet Women by Sherry Thomas. This is the first book in the Lady Sherlock series. So I think what this series is that she's the niece or something like that of Sherlock Holmes, and she solves mysteries, and I think what they are is actual Sherlock Holmes mysteries, but made with a woman protagonist. So it sounds like a lot of fun. The cover is gorgeous. And I've never read Sherlock Holmes, but I thought these ones sounded like a lot of fun. The whole historical aspect of it, yeah, this one definitely, as soon as I saw it, I thought I have to pick that up to read. Now we're going to get into my Harlequin subscription books that I got this month, or for the month of July. So all these books are actually being published in August, so I got them a little bit early. And the first one is, this is from the Harlequin Historical line, is The Warrior's Damsel in Distress by Meriel Fuller. This is a medieval historical romance, and it's about a woman who has been taken captive and how she has to try and get free, and she falls in love with her captor. So, you know, atypical, but sounds like a lot of fun. Next one is A Ring for the Pregnant Debutante by Laura Martin. This is a Regency romance, and this woman finds herself pregnant, and it's very scandalous because it would have been, you know, back in Victorian times. And she flees her family's home and gets stopped, I guess, as she's running away by a stranger who offers to help her. So the story goes from there. Sounds like fun. I know I'm going to enjoy it. Next up is Marrying His Cinderella Countess by Louise Allen. This is another Regency, and it is about a woman who is content being a spinster, caring for her stepbrother, like running his household, essentially. And then she finds out from the stepbrother's best friend that her brother's been killed. And I guess this man has agreed to take care of her. You know, like, the stepbrother made him promise to take care of her. So the story goes from there. Sounds like a great bit of fun. Really, really pretty cover too. And the last of the historicals is A Marriage Deal with the Outlaw, and this is Outlaws of the Wild West, book number 2 by Harper St. George. This is, of course, a Western romance, which are my favorite of the historicals, and it's about a man who is hunting a murderer and a woman who wants to be a physician, but in order to be a physician, or to go to school for that, her parents are insisting that she marry first, hoping, I guess, that once she gets settled down in marriage, she'll forget this silly idea of wanting to be a doctor. So they end up meeting by chance, and they agree to help each other out, that she will kind of be his cover as he's hunting for this murderer by being his fiance. And, you know, by him pretending to be her fiance, it allows her to get to go to medical school. So it sounds like a really fun novel, and I love the fact that, you know, for a historical set in the Wild West, that, you know, there's a woman who wants to do something that not very many women back then got to do. So this one should be really good. And the last 4 books are all the Harlequin special edition novels that I get every month. And again, These I got at the 1st of July. They come out in August, and the first one is Do You Take This Cowboy by Vicki Thompson. This is another book in the Thunder Mountain Brotherhood series, about a young man who was orphaned when he was a child, and, you know, is dealing with that, and I guess he runs into a old flame. Again, it's Vicki Thompson. She's absolutely fantastic in everything that she writes. The next one is Mommy and the Maverick, and this is Montana Maverick's The Great Family Roundup, book number 2. This is by Maxwell, and this is about a man who's moved to town. He's, of course, a billionaire, as they normally are, and befriends a woman with 3 young daughters. And, you know, the parents, or the adults, if you will, decide that they're just going to have a normal relationship, just friends, and, you know, nothing more. He's heading off for business, and he's not around very much. Well, her 3 daughters have decided differently and are playing matchmaker. So this one should be really, really cute, and I'm really looking forward to it. Almost done. 2 more. Second last is Vegas Wedding, Weaver Bride, and this is by Allison Leigh. This is essentially about a woman who wakes up in Las Vegas and she finds out she's married. But the guy that she's married to was like a guy that she knew in high school. Like, they didn't just meet drunkenly at the bar and then get married. They have a history. And now that they're legally married, I guess it's kind of the story of, do they stay married or do they end up getting divorced? So, should be good. And last but not least is How to Train a Cowboy by Caro. This is a story about a man who takes a job at a ranching, like as a rancher, and he has no idea about ranching. And this feisty cowgirl, as it says in the book description, is training him in his new job. And I guess the romance goes from there. Sounds totally adorable, and I cannot wait to read this one. So anyway, guys, those are all the books that I've bought over the last 2 weeks. Actually, like I said, the Harlequin ones were probably from earlier this month, but they just didn't make it in time into my first book haul of the month. And yeah, so let me know in the comments below if any of these books sound interesting to you, if you are going to order any of them, if you did buy any of them. Please let me know. Let's have a discussion. Let me know what books you bought this month, and, you know, books that you're looking forward to, because I am always looking to add more to my wish list. And until my next video, guys, take care and happy reading. Bye.